What are the satellites saying, Victor?
Right now, not a goddamn thing. I've lost the signal.
Hey, you know what never loses signal? Paper.
Hello, welcome to Access. My name's Rob. Joining us today is Dave.
Hello.
Dave, I've been playing Uncharted, Legacy of Thieves Collection on PS5, which is what you're watching now. And I'm going to talk you through 5 reasons, if you needed any, really, to return to Uncharted on PS5. The first reason, obviously, the Legacy of Thieves Collection is Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy, remastered and released together on PS5. The first reason, you've got to give them a go on PS5. It's, a classic reason now. It's haptic feedback in the DualSense wireless controller. I love it, Dave.
Yeah.
I love a bit of haptic feedback. I feel spoiled now. Whenever I play a game not using a DualSense wireless controller, I'm like, why can't I feel every single little bit of mud and grass and water?
Yeah, it's one of those really annoying things, I'm sure, to hear about if you haven't got a DualSense yet.
You've just got to try it. You've
just got to try it. But honestly, it makes such a difference. It's so good.
And when I noticed it the most was in the section that you're seeing now in Uncharted 4, where you get to drive the Jeep around Madagascar. And this is from the Lost Legacy as well. This is driving the Jeep with Chloe and Nadine around the Western Ghats area, which I just love this area so much. But when you're driving the Jeep, I love these bits anyway, because it really evokes that sense of adventure for me, like rumbling along in a 4x4 off-road.
Yeah.
Over the bumps, over the rocks, down cliffs, through rivers, and you can really feel every little bump, every rock you go over, and it feels different when you're driving through grass, and then you'll go onto the mud, and I love this, driving through water. It feels great, and it makes you feel like you're on. Look at that.
I haven't tried this yet, and I can't wait to, because I think Naughty Dog in particular are amazing at making you feel that anyway. I remember playing Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, playing these sections, and you can feel the car sliding around. Like you get so much information from the way it looks and like the feedback in the DualShock anyway. So to see what they've done now with a controller that's way more set up for actually giving you that physical sensation, I can't imagine it. I can't wait to see what it or feel how it plays.
I can confirm it's very cool. And I like driving around here anyway, as you can probably tell. It looks amazing, and I'm a sucker for water graphics, so driving along through waterfalls. The river is the road, basically, in this area, and it feels so satisfying.
It's like you said, it's real kind of wish fulfillment, this.
Yes.
I think when we first saw these sections in Uncharted 4 in particular, it was I just couldn't believe it was an Uncharted game, like a kind of open world feeling area.
You also feel the haptic when you're sliding down the rocks,
right.
I should mention as well. This is the other time I really like the haptic feedback. You can really feel, Nathan Drake has a line where it's like, I've got so much gravel in my ass. And you can feel the gravel just sliding around. The sliding mechanic was like a new thing introduced in Uncharted 4. And it's one of my favourite bits of the game, especially when it's married to like a dramatic set piece like this one. When you're trying to escape from Scotland, Sully's like, "Quick, get to the plane!" That's my very bad Sully impression. I'm sorry.
Liked it.
And you're there, you're shooting bad guys, you're trying to figure out where to go, you're sliding, you're shooting. It's just so good. Look at this. Oh, I love it.
Those takedowns are so satisfying.
Incredibly.
There's some sort of shake on the screen or something. You can really feel the crunch as you come down. Full body weight on someone's neck.
Yeah.
Sure, it's fine.
It's very nice. I love this whole area.
Yeah, Scotland's an amazing level. Anyway, I think it's one of my favourites in Uncharted 4, and the kind of phases that you go through from this very sort of quiet, stealthy bit to a puzzly bit
to an explodey bit.
This huge explodey.
Yes.
I'm out of here. And getting to meet up with Sully again at the bottom, it's just such a fantastic game. I can't wait to go through this again. And Rob, I'm sure I've mentioned to you several times that I got the platinum.
Yes,
in Uncharted 4.
You have. That's a little bonus reason to return. If you have the platinum, you can get another platinum, because the trophies, if you've already got them on the PS4 version, they'll pop again for you on the PS5 version, which is very satisfying.
It just makes sense. And having done, having to do crushing on Uncharted 4,
yes,
I'm glad I don't have to do that again.
Well, the second reason to return, Dave, is obviously there are enhanced visual option and performance options on PS5. We're capturing this on Fidelity mode, which is native 4K on PS5 at 30 frames per second. There's also like a balanced mode, which targets 60 frames per second while still maintaining a really nice resolution. You can also choose Performance Plus, which, if you have a compatible display, targets 120 frames per second. What? If you want a buttery, smooth performance, if performance is the most important thing to you, you can have that as well. But for me, I always, when the fidelity option is there, I always go for fidelity. To me, especially when it's like this, when you've got a game that's as good looking as this, I want to see every leaf. I want to see every little bit of water, every little bit of steam rising above those water. Well, why wouldn't you want to look at this?
Yeah.
In 4K. Oh, it's
every
just amazing.
Tiny reflection from every sort of ripple
exactly.
in the ocean. I do agree, but I think it's great to have that option, isn't it? Because people do want different things from games. Some people do want the faster frame rates.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's great that you can make that choice now. But I'm with you. I always pick fidelity. Although, having said that, I always like to try out the higher frame rates, and I'm always like, oh my god.
It's really good in the middle of really hectic set pieces, sticking it onto Performance Plus if you've got a compatible display.
And it's
very,
sort of like
good.
It's like a kid in a sweet shop anyway, because it's going to look amazing either way.
I love this level. This whole bit of the video, Dave, is just an excuse, really, for me to put in my favourite looking bits of Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy.
How did you choose them? Because, I mean, what can you tell me a bad looking bit?
No, but I really like this bit in particular because you've just done the lovely sunny paradise beach.
Yeah.
And now you're on an island in the same kind of area and a storm has hit. And look at it. This bit of the game is amazing.
Yeah, I like that Nathan Drake is kind of like, he's
battered.
slower, isn't he? He's been battered. You can't sort of run at the same speed and all that kind of stuff. To begin with, I think he's sort of limping around for a little while.
Look how wet it is, though.
Yeah.
Like, very few games nail the sort of cold, just oppressive wetness of rain like that. And Uncharted 4 nails it. And this is just after the storm. The storm has just finished, and you can see it. You can almost see that rainfall lifting away. Look at this.
Have you ever seen a more adventure-looking mountain as well than that one?
That's what it should be called if it's not Adventure Mountain. I mean, this is as adventure as it gets. This is a secret pirate island with buried treasure on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Uncharted, the epitome of Uncharted, isn't it?
This is I love this. This is the Lost Legacy. This is the Western Ghats area again in Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. And similar to Madagascar in Uncharted 4, it's this big open area you can drive around. But in the Lost Legacy, you've got a few more options as well. There's little side treasures to find, like you've got all the coins. And entry 3, Dave, literally is the Lost Legacy.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that,
because I feel like the Lost Legacy, I wouldn't say it's underrated. Everyone who's played it has rightfully said how brilliant it is. But I fear that sometimes people can, when you put it up against Uncharted 4, everyone's like, oh, Uncharted 4 is coming to PS5. But do not sleep on the Lost Legacy if you haven't played it yet. I know quite a few people who still haven't played the Lost Legacy. It is a brilliant, brilliant game.
It's a fantastic game. It's right up there with Uncharted 4 as far as I'm concerned, in terms of, it was made around the same time by the same team. They've just taken all the incredible sort of stuff that the new stuff that was added into Uncharted 4, and there's more of it with characters that you love.
They're just having fun with it. They finessed quite a few things. It looks incredible, consistently incredible. There are a few new things you can do, like this. Chloe can pick locks, and I love that animation where she gets her hair clip out and she carefully puts it in, and you're there. I love like her sweaty hair. She's covered in mud. Again, you just feel like you're on an adventure. And look, you've got You've got bad guys patrolling. You're there trying to hack into their weapon boxes.
I think Chloe is I think along with many people, like I was sad that Chloe wasn't in Uncharted 4. And there's a whole game now with her.
Yes.
That you get to enjoy. Like, I think she's a fantastic character.
She is.
And her relationship with Nadine is great.
Absolutely. Chloe and Nadine together, that is an inspired combo.
Yeah, 100%.
I hate this puzzle, Dave. I really do, because I'm not very good at it. But I've captured the one time I did it. So
well, that's it. You only have to
here
do it
we go.
once.
Only have to do it once. And that's another thing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, I think, ups the ante on as well, is the puzzles.
Yeah.
Because again, with all the action set pieces, you often forget the puzzle in Uncharted, and The Lost Legacy has some quite devious ones.
I think that
you can't just breeze through them all. You've really got to think, and that one isn't too bad, to be honest. I just got impatient and frustrated with it, but there are some real head scratchers, and it's all about that sense of being in a place that no one's been for hundreds of years, discovering this ancient stuff that no one's been here.
Personally, like, I think the puzzle element is my favourite element of the Uncharted games. I think more than the action, more than the kind of like exploring. I love when I get something just like this, and it's a puzzle, and you feel smart, like you say. You feel like you're one of the first person to do this. In,
I figured it out.
Hundreds of years.
Yes, no one else has done. Everyone's been here and they've tried to figure it out, and I'm the only one who could figure out you had to make an image of an axe.
Exactly.
This is point number 4 now, Dave. We can't talk really about Uncharted without mentioning the amazing action set pieces, because I think we take them for granted, and this is just a little love letter to some of my favourites from across the Lost Legacy. This is right at the beginning of the Lost Legacy, and it's just outstanding. This is Chloe and Nadine's escape from Assad right at the beginning of the game. Look at the rain, just look at the lighting and everything about it. It's just so exciting. And what amazes me about Uncharted set pieces is they are so meticulously designed in a way that you always seem to figure out just at the last moment where you've got to go.
Yeah.
You're running, you're getting it, people are shooting at you, explosions are going off, your adrenaline is up, you're like, oh my god, where have I got to go, where have I got to go? And for some reason you always just see it. A little staircase there, a little corridor there, and it feels like you're just, living by the skin of your teeth. And you just managed to get out, and there's like a perfect marriage between what you're feeling and what your character on screen is feeling.
I totally agree. I think it's a complete masterclass. Like, Naughty Dog are the undisputed champions of this for me. I think we've all experienced set pieces in games where, they're always high adrenaline, like high octane, and then you'll get it wrong and have to start again.
Yeah.
And obviously the sheen then is taken off a little bit. And I think in Uncharted games, the set pieces, exactly like you said, they're designed in such a way as to feel like you're figuring everything out exactly as the character is.
Yeah.
Like you don't know where you're going. You're just running, and then you're like, oh god, I'm going over there, and then something's fallen and a path becomes clear. It always makes you feel like the character who's just having to make this up on the fly, just improvising. It feels like you're improvising a section that in fact has been meticulously designed.
And that's the amazing bit about it, is you know how much work has gone into this, how much play testing must have gone into making it so that the path isn't too obvious, but also isn't not obvious as to be frustrating. That balance must be so hard to hit, and they nail it every time.
In these incredible environments as well, and making, that's the other thing about kind of hiding these paths in an environment, making a path clear, but in an environment that which isn't supposed to look like a path. It's just so clever. Honestly, I could talk to someone who's done this for hours about it, because I'm fascinated.
How did you do it?
How did they do it? But they've been doing it for years and years, and I think they're the undisputed champions.
This is the beginning. This is literally the first thing you do in Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Look at it, for crying out loud. We're a high-speed boat chase on the ocean in a storm.
Yeah.
And, my God, it's just so ridiculously over the top and outrageously exciting.
The size of the swell, there's some of the waves that you're sort of crashing over, and it does that really good thing of, it goes a bit wrong. Spoilers for Uncharted 4, and you're never sure if you've messed it up or
if
is
that was
part of the
supposed
story
to happen.
like this. God, did I mess that up? Is that supposed to happen?
I love this as well. This is one of my favourite bits. Nadine throwing Drake out the window, and he grabs hold of the curtain, and it's ripping. Like, oh God, grab onto that. Like, this whole area was like a little mini heist towards the beginning of Uncharted 4. And you know at Naughty Dog, they're like, should we do a heist? Yeah. And they've done like one of the best video game heists ever. It's just so cool. And this bit where he's like, oh my God, smashes through there, and immediately you're right into this gunfight in the lobby.
It's just made... It's ridiculous. I'm sat here with a big grin watching it now, because that's the way it feels. It is outrageous, but in the best possible way, and in a way that doesn't feel outrageous. It just feels like really good fun. I'm just living it with the characters. It's amazing.
This set piece is insane. This is you and Sam. We're probably about 2/3 of the way through Uncharted 4 at this point. And the baddies are just like, I'm sick and tired of these two, and they just come out with RPGs and they bring out the big guns, and you're like, oh my God, let's just get out of here. Again, that's another one with the thing, like, we're in a collapsing tower, and just at the last second you realise you can throw out your grapple. Yeah. And cling to this. And everything is fraught, everything is last minute, but also by Naughty Dog, so wonderfully controlled and designed.
Yeah, it's so true. It's that thing again of like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You see the button prompt, I'll catch it. And the grapple was an amazing addition to Uncharted 4 as well. It feels so good again, and like it's exactly that kind of situation where I think it's just so pleasing, like where you just catch it and save the day.
Yeah, and this is the final entry, Dave. Yeah. I've devoted an entire entry to this, which to this day, honestly, it's one of the most astounding sequences in a video game ever. It's the amount of what's going on here. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you are grappling onto the back of a truck, being pulled through the mud, whilst other people are on bikes and jeeps shooting at you. You're shooting at them. You're leaping. Well, I'll stop talking and you can see it happen.
I totally agree, Rob. We made a video recently that was about our favourite Uncharted moments, and I spoke about Tenzin in Uncharted 2. This was the other thing on my list, and I thought that someone else would probably do it, and so I backed out. I just can't believe this section of the game.
I would love to talk to someone just at length just about this. I mean, it lasts maybe 3 or 4 minutes, this section of the game. But it's just, when you think about how much work must have gone into those 3 or 4 minutes, it's mind-boggling.
I mean, you've left out the bit at the start, which was kind of famously shown at E3, and I remember. I mean, can you imagine having being so confident in the rest of the game that you can just show the beginning of one of your most amazing action set pieces at E3? Yeah. It was just like ridiculous. The driving, the way that you just like have gone there from some melee combat and then taking over a jeep, and now you're just driving.
Again, it's that last minute thing of like you're in the jeep shooting at stuff, and all of a sudden another car is alongside you. You're like, shall I? Can I? Yeah. And you just jump and you land in it and you kick the driver out, and then you're driving it. Look at this. Blowing up jeeps whilst being dragged along by another vehicle.
Yeah, you're right. Like it's not even quite a set piece, this, because it gives you different ways to do it. You can jump to the other vehicles as you see fit. You can get on the bike. You can, you're obviously getting on these trucks and shooting from the trucks for as long as you like. It's not like now get in this car, now get in that car. It kind of hides all of that really well and makes you feel like you're making the decision to
exactly.
Jump to the
that's the thing. Because the thing about it is, there is like, if you play this sequence enough times, you sort of learn, okay, at this point I need to do this, and at that point I need to do that. When you're playing it the first time, it feels like this spontaneous, ridiculous, breathless chase. Yeah. And honestly, I take my hat off to the probably hundreds of people involved in the creation of this.
I think
it's insane.
I'll have no problem with downloading my PS4 save and going straight to this moment and trying all the different performance modes.
Yes.
And just playing this several times just to really enjoy it again. It's just
there's chapter select and there's also encounter select,
yes,
which is cool. So you don't even have to play the preceding bit of this chapter. You can hop straight to the convoy chase if you've got a save, obviously, which you can import from the PS4 version if you already have one.
Yeah, I think that's such a good shout by Naughty Dog. Again, I mean, in a series of good shouts.
Well, that's it, Dave. That's that's our run-through, our quick run-through of Uncharted, the Legacy of Thieves Collection, which is coming out this Friday, January the 28th on PS5. You've got Uncharted 4, you've got Uncharted The Lost Legacy in one bundle. And you don't really need any excuse, do you, to replay them?
No.
But to experience them again, looking a little bit better, performing a little bit better on PS5, it's a no-brainer for me. So please do give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments if you're going to be picking up Uncharted, the Legacy of Thieves Collection on PS5. And don't forget to click the notification bell and subscribe if you haven't already done so, so you never miss out on anything from the world of PlayStation.